Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Cindy. I am a member of the communications team here at the Calgary Zoo. And today I am standing down in Eurasia. I'm right in front of our snow leopard habitat. And I'm here with our lead Eurasian keeper, Barb. And she's going to fill you guys in on what you're going to see today with our snow leopards.
Okay, Brian, now. Okay.
All right, Barb, say hello to everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Barb. As Cindy was saying, I'm one of the lead keepers at the Calgary Zoo. This is one of the areas that we are responsible for. You're about to see Brian come in and do our afternoon enrichment. So what we've done is we've just pulled the snow leopards into the building and they get their diet. So depending on what the diet is, today they had feline diet, so they snarf that pretty quickly. And then what we'll do is we come out here, we clean the yard, and then we put out some enrichment. So today's enrichment, I don't think they've ever had these huge lawn bags.
I'm going to show you guys Brian coming out here.
So here's Brian with lawn bags, and these are like double lawn bags. In the lawn bag, we have straw from our musk deer enclosure. So our female musk deer likes to perch on this bale, and so it smells like her. So it's going to smell very good to them. We also line the inside of the bag with some blood and some alpaca fur. And so I'm hoping, and we never know what's going to happen, but I'm hoping that they will go outside and sort of trash these bags. It's going to be less for us to clean up, but that's what I'm hoping is going to happen. So we've got one right here, and one they're going to go higher up on.
All right.
Brian is also using a bit of scent enrichment out here. So we use perfumes as scent enrichment, spices, other things, and we'll see if they interact with that. The really cool thing about perfumes is that they contain urea when they make the perfumes, and they can smell that in there, so they really go for that. So Brian will actually now go, so we've already done all the cleaning. You'll see that Brian is wearing a face mask.
He is,
You've
yes.
probably heard with COVID-19 that there are issues with cats contracting COVID-19. So we are right down into lockdown mode here too. So anything that we do with the cats, we are disinfected to the hilt, and we have to wear our face masks. So anywhere that we're interacting with these cats.
Yes.
So food prep, the whole works, we are making sure that they don't contract anything.
Exactly.
So,
human and animal safety, number one priorities.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's a very new, different world that we're living in right now. I feel for all of you folks at home, sitting at home. But hey, you get to see what's going on here. Okay, here comes
All right, you guys, we have some cats coming out.
So Pemba just came out first. Oh, and he's coming across.
Oh, look, you guys. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can hear the macaques behind us. Give us some thumbs up if you can hear those macaques making all that noise.
Oh, and he's out there scratching his log. And here comes Leica in the background. Both of our cats actually will be turning 6 pretty quickly here. Leica will turn 6 in May, and Pemba in June. Pemba came to us from France, so he spoke French when he first came, and Leica came to us from Austria, so she spoke German.
Awesome.
Oh, now he's checking it out.
He is checking it out.
We're looking at the one up on top of the platform.
Here we go.
Leica will often be the one that goes for the enrichment and check it out first, so we'll see what happens.
I'm going to follow. We're going to follow. Here we go.
So he sees that up here. So he's looking. Now here comes Leica.
Oh, here we go.
We'll see if between the two of us we can see who's going to go for what first.
Someone's coming. Someone's coming.
Looking just to the left of us.
I've lost Pemba. Oh, there.
There he goes. Okay.
There we go.
When they jump, these guys can jump actually like 15 meters.
Here we go.
Watch how fluid that is.
Beautiful.
Yes. Oh, something died in here.
If you guys have some questions, drop them in the comment section below, and I will shout those out to Barb.
So these guys, as you know, Cindy, these guys are an endangered species. There's only about 600 of them in zoos around the world. And in the wild, he's going, oh yeah, that smells good.
Yes.
In the wild, they estimate between 3,500 and less than 7,000. So because they're actually found over such a huge area, and there's quite a few of them. They just have no idea how many are actually out there. He's working on it.
It's going in. Who's this up here?
That's
Pemba?
Pimba.
It's Pemba.
You see that long tail? That long tail is used for balance. And did you see when he jumped up there,
Yes.
how fluid he was? And he just rights himself and uses that as a counterbalance. It's really good.
Vicky is wondering how high they can jump.
How fluid, they are so good. So you can actually see the cave behind them.
Yes.
That is nothing. They can easily jump 25, 30 feet.
Wow.
Just spring up. Coming down is much easier than up. They often sort of hit off a rock and then go a bit further, just bounce off. But yeah, it's nothing for them.
Amelia is 4 years old, and she's wondering why they like the alpaca fur and why they enjoy this scent of blood.
Hi, Amelia. Well, that's a really good question. The alpaca fur is really cool. We shear our alpacas every spring, and what we really like is especially the parts of the fur that's from around their bum when we just shave their fur. That dirty fur we will actually keep for enrichment because it really smells like the alpaca and like alpaca poop. And we'll put that, we use that a lot for enrichment. So what Koresh right now is smelling is different animals in that bag. So we have blood from carcass in there, and that's horse. He's got the musk deer straw in there. So that's a small little Asian deer. And he's got that alpaca fur. So he's going to investigate and check this out.
Awesome. We have Lauren who's watching, and she's 3 years old, and she's wondering, do they need to have their nails cut?
Really good question, Lauren. I bet you have cats at home. We don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about cutting their nails. I don't know if you saw when Pemba first came out, he came over onto the log and he scratched. So they will scratch and sharpen their nails, and we don't have to cut them because we want them having to use those nails to climb up things.
Shannon's wondering about their temperament. Can you share a little bit about the two? Is there any noticeable differences between the two of them?
Absolutely. Leica tends to be the shyer of the two. Pemba tends to be a bit more outgoing. He's usually the first one in. Pimba, being a male, he's just a bit more assertive than Leica is. Leica doesn't know what to do with this. She's looking at him from across the yard there. She's going like, I don't know.
Let's
maybe she'll
get a little
come over
shot
here.
of Leica coming over.
Personality-wise, they're very laid back. They're pretty low-key cats. Really fun to work with.
That's awesome.
You see she's under the...
Yes, there she is. Let's scoot down this way so we can see Leica here under the tree.
She's going like, oh, there's a box there. Now, what we do a lot of for enrichment is we use paper bags. Paper bags are really cool. It allows an animal to rip through something. So when you think about when an animal like a snow leopard or a tiger kills something, they will kill it and then they'll rip it open to get to the insides. And a paper bag is really awesome because they can get that natural feeling of ripping into something.
They are beautiful. Look at the size of those paws.
Take a look at Pemba is ripping out the insides of his bag right now.
All right, let's go back up to Pemba.
He's inside, and you can see that he is
Look at him.
actually, just like it would be an animal or a carcass, he's actually ripping away pieces of it to get to the inside. And Leica is over here stalking us along the glass.
So we have Ladarius, who is age 9, wondering what their favorite thing is to eat.
What is their favorite? You know what? They love chicken. So they get chicken several times a week. They get horse carcass several times a week. They get horse tails. Horse tails are similar to a dentist stick. You know the dentist sticks that you give to your dogs?
Yes.
Because they've got like different little things that run up and down. They have to chew on them really hard, and that helps remove tartar and stuff from their teeth. So they like that too. And then we give them feline diet. Today is a feline diet day, so that's probably the most, I wouldn't say boring, they like it, but it's probably not as exciting as a chicken or a horse carcass would be.
Very cool. Hey, we have Candace wondering if these two will breed.
Well, we're hoping that they will produce babies someday, so we'll have to wait and see.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, everyone out there. Keep your fingers crossed for some snow leopard babies. Vanessa's wondering if there's any way that you're able to tell these two apart.
Yes, really easily. when you take a look at them, Laika's on the ground, her face and her body structure is totally different. If you take a look at her, she's looking up right now. She has a very small chin. And Pemba, if you look at him at the top, his lower jaw is very large and it juts forward like the Pink Panther. For those of you that are as old as I am, you remember the Pink Panther cartoons? He had a very protruding lower jaw, very masculine, very obvious.
He did, yeah.
Yes, and so that's the easiest way. They have different patterns on their faces. Oh, she might jump up there and help kill them.
Oh, yes.
She's looking. But you can see her right now, how dainty and tiny her face is.
She's looking right there from behind that tree, if you guys can see.
Pemba right now, you can see his lower jaw is very obvious.
I think we're going to get another one jumping up.
Yeah.
Hey, we have the Citadel Park School grade 3s tuning in, and they're wondering how long snow leopards live.
Hi guys. Typically out in the wild they don't live as long, right? There's so many hazards, but in a captive situation, so in a zoo situation like we have here, they can live up to 15 years, which is an old cat at that point.
That is very cool. Look, she's
throwing all that stuff on top of Laika.
Oh no.
What the heck?
We have Stephanie wondering if they enjoy the spring weather, if they kind of like more warm, more cold temperatures.
That's a really good question. They are snow leopards, and they're actually from very barren parts. Oh, look over here. He's going to try and get this one over here. Very barren, cold areas in Southeast Asia, into Russia, China, Afghanistan, all of those, Uzbekistan, all those high up areas. That's where Nepal, where you would find these guys, so high up above the tree line. So they are set to be animals that can be in really, really cold conditions. So when it gets like 30 degrees here, it's not always the most fun part, but their cave up there is actually quite cool. And we run the waterfall during summertime, which actually sets off a cool breeze. So they feel quite comfortable actually lying right up there, watching the world go by even in the summertime.
Wow, we have Lily wondering, are snow leopards dangerous?
They are. So these are a dangerous animal, and it's because they eat meat and they can easily take down something the size of an ibex or a mountain goat. Is nothing for them to bring down and kill. So we definitely treat them with respect that they deserve.
So we have Paige, who is 9 years old, and she is wondering what is their gender. So we've covered their names, but who's who?
Okay, so Laika is on the left-hand side here. She's just right up against the window. Very cute, very petite little animal. And then Pimba is our male. So he's the one that was born in June. So he's going to be 6 in June. And Laika is a month older. She was born in May.
Wow. Oh, we have lots of questions rolling in, you guys. Keep them coming. We have Everly, who is wondering how often they need to eat their meals. Is it daily? And would that be something that's different in the wild?
Oh, that's a really good question. You know what? Out in the wild, they would catch something like an ibex or something, and then they would cache it, and they would eat on that for several days at a time. In fact, they would eat a lot, and then they'd sort of go off to the side and sleep it all off. We don't do that because all you would see is sleeping cats. We also need to make sure that we can get into their enclosure every day, and if they are full and sleeping and only eat once a week, we'll never be able to get in here and clean. And these guys like to jump on the windows and get things dirty, so we have to get in here. So we give them their calories for the week divided over 7 days. So they get some of that every day. And that keeps them moving. Okay, here goes Pimba.
Oh, here we go. Stephen is wondering if our snow leopards brush their teeth.
They brush their teeth using horsetails. So we have horsetails, and they chew on that. And that is what, it's almost like a dentist stick that the dogs would eat. And it gets right between their teeth and helps brush as they chew. So they like their horsetails. So yes, they brush their teeth.
They do brush their teeth, just a little bit different than we do.
Exactly.
Cody is tuning in and watching, and he is wondering if the animals seem to be more active with the zoo being closed, or are they acting the same?
So that is a really good question. We have noticed that when we are walking around the zoo, a lot of the animals are going like, oh, people, and they come over to see us. I think you guys actually provide a lot more enrichment than we ever thought. So yes, we miss you guys. We miss you guys not being here, and I think the animals miss you guys too.
They do. They certainly do. And we miss you guys as well. We have Catherine wondering if our snow leopards are part of a species survival plan.
They are part of the SSP, absolutely. So these guys have a breeding recommendation, and then the SSP will decide whether or not they want Pemba to move on to a different facility one of these days and then bring in a different male. So they will determine who we will be breeding down the road.
Very cool. Christina is watching and she's wondering if snow leopards can roar like other big cats do.
These guys don't roar like a lion would. So these guys actually caterwaul. They'll make a lot of wow, wow sounds. So they don't have that big roar like a lion or a tiger would have.
Wow. Aren't they beautiful, you guys? Show some love for our snow leopards. I just love these guys. Let me see. Scrolling through, you guys, getting some questions in here.
Now, so you might actually go and check out those things that Pemba had taken apart. Let's see.
We do have a few questions rolling in, wondering about their spots and the size of their tails. Is there anything that their physical characteristics that they have that help them adapt in the wild?
Absolutely. So they blend in when in a snowy environment and a rocky, dry environment. Man, you won't see these guys. They really blend in. Look at the size of her feet as she's perched there.
Let's go over here.
Those are little snowshoes. So she can maneuver really well in snowy conditions. And if she jumps here in a second, she's a bit twitchy right now because there's stuff falling out of that bag and she's not quite sure what to think about. So
I think she's going to go up.
There she goes.
Wow.
And did you see how that tail is really super important. That tail's about almost like a third of her length from tip to the back, and that helps counterbalance things. So as she jumps up, that tail goes up, helps her get her balance, and then off she goes.
Serenity is wondering if they tend to get along or do they happen to fight with each other?
These two love each other.
Aww.
These guys absolutely love each other. And remember we talked about caterwauling and lots of noise if we keep them separated for food. So these guys are solitary out in the wild, and so we tend to not feed them together. We always make sure that we don't have meat in the enclosure at the same time that both cats are there. We don't want them fighting because they get along so well, but they can get very possessive about their food. So enrichment they'll share very nicely, but food we want to make sure they're on their own. So yeah, they love each other, and as I was saying, they'll caterwaul if we keep them separated too long. They go, hey, it's time to go out with my friend.
Jacob is age 9. He's watching, and he's wondering, how do we get the horsetails for these guys?
You know what? This sounds really terrible, because we all love horses, but there's actually a very big market out there for horse meat. And so a lot of countries around the world eat horse. And so we buy those things. We buy horse carcass and horse tails, because that's one of those things that not a lot of people would eat, but animals do eat. And horse meat isn't as fatty as beef. So we tend to not feed beef. Horse meat tends to be more natural, more like what they would eat out in the wild.
Right, and that's very important, trying to keep
that diet
as normal as possible.
Yes.
Exactly. We have Gabe who's watching and wondering, do they tend to sleep more at night? Are they more active?
These are cats, right? So they are usually the most active when you don't want them to be active. So your house cats at night are probably really busy in the middle of the night. So yeah, dawn, they're really, really super active. Late at night, early evening, they get quite active, because guess what happens in the middle of the day? It's hot and sunny. So it's not a really good time to be hunting and running around when you've got a thick fur coat.
Roger is 11, and he is wondering, what is some of their favorite things to do?
They love their enrichment, so we have to do a lot of enrichment. They like to sit up high. They love to watch things. So when people come by, they like to watch people. They like to watch the monkeys across the way, and because they have a really good vantage point when they're up on that wall, they can actually see clear over to Markhor. They can see over to the red pandas. They can see over to the carousel where the srow are. So they can see quite a lot, and it's really cool sometimes when the geese show up, or in the morning when the staff is out there cleaning the park before you guys show up. They are up there watching what we're doing. So they like to people watch and watch everything going on. They love their enrichment. They like their food. They love carcass days.
Aw, that is awesome. They have lots to do in there.
And they have that lovely shaded area here.
They do, yes. Taking
here
advantage
goes
here on the rock.
So
Oh,
here
we going up
comes
to the other bag? Scoot this way for you guys. Kamira is wondering if they have any natural predators in the wild.
Not natural predators. It would primarily be loss of habitat, which is their demise, and people shooting them, killing them, because so many people are now moving their animals and their livestock into snow leopard territory, right?
Right.
And livestock tends to be easy pickings when you're a snow leopard, and then quite often they can get killed because they've been raiding people's livestock.
And do these guys stalk their prey in the wild? Are they kind of ambush hunters? We have Colleen wondering.
They will stalk it.
They
This
will.
typical cat. And there is some really cool footage out there. If you just Google snow leopard catches mountain goat, or I think it's or ibex. If you get onto Google and Google that, it is unbelievable footage. I think it's a blue sheep that they're stalking, and this thing actually catches this blue sheep and falls off a cliff. It's unbelievable footage.
Oh no, I don't know that I want to see that.
I don't know if you want. It's really cool.
Oh dear.
The cat survives, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, they will stalk and then run and grab.
That is nature. Nature at its finest,
yeah.
It is. We have Carson and Tucker who are tuning in, and they're wondering what kind of environment that these cats would live in the wild.
Out in the wild, high mountains, so the snowy, barren areas above the tree line. When you think about way up in the mountains above the trees, these guys would be up there.
That's why we have all of these wonderful things inside of their exhibit, so they can climb and jump and
absolutely
prowl around. Dawson is wondering how good their grip is for climbing.
Really good, because they use their retractable claws. So when they jump, and they can scrabble. And you can actually see in this enclosure where they've been ripping apart and scratching on some of the wood in here. They've just been getting right in there and ripping things apart with their claws.
These guys are moving. I've lost the other.
Okay, she's actually in the back.
Oh, she went in the back. Yeah. All right. Okay. Just making sure. Kayleigh is wondering if they purr.
They don't purr.
They don't purr.
They chuff. Well, not really. They So it's not quite like a purr, like the small cats do. But yeah, there's a greeting that they'll do when they greet each other.
And they kind of rub their heads together. I have seen them do that.
So they've got those scent glands in their faces, right? And they'll actually rub each other.
Aww.
Just like a house cat. Here comes like a...
Here comes.
The
Citadel Park grade 3s have another question for us. What happens when they get too hot? How do they cool themselves off?
So when it's too hot, they will move into shady areas like right here. Can you see? This is one of the best shaded areas that we have. And if it gets like 30 degrees in the summertime, we'll actually give them back of house access. And we'll put up little signs that say, you know what, guys, it's 30 degrees. And we're going to let them into a cool area.
Tamara is wondering how swifty they are. Are they fast moving?
Very, very. They could easily run up to about 50 kilometers an hour in quick sprints. Yeah, really, really super fast.
These guys, they have those long legs and those thick paws.
Absolutely. So between running really fast and springing up and just running and jumping forward, it's amazing to see how fast they can move.
Wow. Graham, who's watching, and he's 12 years old, is wondering if they ever happen to fight over their food.
That's a really good question, because they are solitary animals. So because we know that they're solitary animals and they never tend to eat together, unless you're a mom with babies, right? Then you would eat together. But normally you wouldn't have two animals eating together. We never put the food in there together with them.
Right.
We don't want them fighting, and we know that there's potential for them to do that, so we just never give them a
So
chance.
they would go in their back of house, their back bedroom
bedrooms,
areas, and they would get their food separately, and they get to enjoy that, and then
And
they
it's
come
funny
back out.
because Pemba, even when we're around there, he'll growl at us.
Oh,
When he's eating, he's growling at us. So
he is
it's my
wanting
food,
his
get away from
food.
me. Yeah.
Aiden, who's 6 years old, is wondering how many of these guys are left out there in the wild?
That's a really good question. They have a very hard time making an exact count. Their best estimate is 3,500 to less than 7,000.
Wow.
And they actually cover an area there of about 2 million square kilometers, which is a huge area. And that's why they can't do a lot of research on these guys, because it's a huge area that they have to cover to see.
And they're up at very high altitudes, aren't they?
Very high, yeah. So you've got people doing research having to climb way up there, right?
And they share the same habitat space in the wild as Pallas cats.
Yes.
Yes.
That high area.
That very high altitude.
You might see her licking him. They love each other, these two.
They do, and they just had their meal before they came back out. They had some fun enrichment.
And what do you think you do when you have a full tummy?
What do you do?
You go for a siesta.
Yeah.
So they're going to relax in the shade now and just...
They're going to have a little relax for the afternoon. It's a beautiful day, and they're going to hang out. Rihanna is wondering about their fur. Is it soft? Do we know? I know that we don't touch them, but maybe you can explain a little, Barb.
It is really thick, dense, and soft. The only reason I know that is because every now and then when we have to immobilize them so that we can
For vet checkups.
For their vet checkups, then we know because we have to move them. But yes, they've got very, very thick coats, unbelievably thick coats.
Very thick. It looks very thick and very soft.
And you can see where Leica went up there in her cage.
Oh yeah, look you guys. I think these guys are gonna have their little afternoon nap.
Siesta.
They are. So let's just get we will get a shot up here. I hope everybody enjoyed tuning in today to share some enrichment time with our snow leopards and learn a little bit more about them from lead Eurasia keeper Barb. Turn back to Barb. And here we go. Give you guys a close-up here. See if we can see. Up in the cave, having a nap. So you guys, as you know, these are difficult times as our doors remain closed here at the zoo, but we are doing our best to bring the zoo to you guys every day. Make sure you do check back in later today for our daily dose and tune in tomorrow for our Storytime Live. And as always, you guys, if you are in a position to give, we are warmly accepting donations. You can click that link in our description for more information. Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you so much for supporting wildlife conservation. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thank you. We miss you.
We do miss you guys. Bye-bye.